The glass shattered in my hand before I even realized I'd clenched it too hard. Red wine bled across my skin, mingling with blood from a shallow cut, the sting sharp enough to remind me I was still alive. But the real wound was across the room. My wife, Anna, her laugh brighter than the chandelier above us, her hand slipping into his as if I didn't exist. I blinked. Maybe it wasn't what it looked like. Maybe she was just leaning too close, whispering something innocent in the ear of a man I didn't know, didn't trust, didn't invite into the fragile world I thought we shared. My stomach twisted with denial, anger, and a desperate, humiliating hope. Daniel. A voice broke through the haze. My friend Mark placed a hand on my shoulder, steady and grounding. You okay? I nodded, though the glass shards in my palm said otherwise. I excused myself, heading to the bathroom. The mirror caught me in its cruel honesty, sweat beading on my forehead, eyes wide with disbelief, lips pressed thin as if holding back a scream. I washed the blood from my hand, watched the crimson swirl down the drain, and whispered, she wouldn't. Not Anna. She promised me forever. When I returned, the room felt different, hollow, dangerous. I scanned the crowd, the sea of sequin dresses and dark suits. She was gone. My heart dropped into my stomach. Looking for Anna. Mark again, hesitant this time, like he already knew. Where is she? My voice came out harsher than I intended. He shifted uncomfortably. I saw her, leaving. With that guy. Tall, dark hair, gray jacket. Didn't look like business talk. My chest tightened until I could barely breathe. She had left. With him. Without even a glance back at me. My wife. I staggered outside, the night air biting cold. The parking lot was half empty, the glow of taillights disappearing into the dark. My fists trembled at my sides. Rage boiled in me, warring with heartbreak. Images flooded my mind. Anna's vows on our wedding day, her whispered I love yous in the quiet of our bed. The way she once held my face when she thought I was drifting away. Lies, all of it. I drove home in silence, each tick of the turn signal like a countdown to the end of my marriage. When I entered our house, the absence of her hit harder than her betrayal. Her heels weren't by the door. Her perfume didn't linger in the air. Just silence, suffocating and heavy. I sat in the dark, waiting. Hours bled into dawn. Finally, the door creaked open. Anna slipped inside, her hair tangled, her lipstick smudged. She froze when she saw me, sitting there like a ghost. Daniel, she whispered, her voice soft, almost guilty, almost rehearsed. Where were you? My words cracked, too sharp, too brittle. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Her eyes darted away, her fingers fidgeting with her coat. I needed some air. I laughed, a bitter, broken sound. With him. She flinched. Silence stretched between us like barbed wire. Then, with a sigh that sounded like surrender, she said, I don't love you anymore. Those words pierced deeper than any knife. My body went numb, my mind a battlefield of denial and fury. So you sneak away in the night? With another man? Her eyes finally met mine, wet with tears, but steady. I didn't mean for you to find out this way. Something inside me snapped. Not in violence, but in clarity. I realized then that she had been gone long before last night. The late nights at work, the distance in her kisses, the way she avoided my gaze, it had all been leading here. I just hadn't wanted to see it. But I wasn't going to let her leave me shattered. If she wanted war, I'd give her something to remember. The next morning, I acted as if nothing had happened. I made coffee, kissed her forehead lightly, and told her I had errands to run. She looked at me strangely, suspicion flickering in her eyes, but she didn't ask. Guilt, perhaps, made her quiet. What she didn't know was that I'd already gone through her phone while she slept. I had screenshots of every message, every flirtation, every plan she'd made with him. Proof enough to destroy her carefully crafted image among our friends, her family, even her workplace. She'd always valued appearances more than anything. Her reputation was her armor. Revenge wasn't immediate. It simmered, slow and deliberate, like poison in a glass of wine. A week later, we attended another gathering, this time at her boss's house. She dressed carefully, painting on that charming smile, pretending to be the perfect wife. Halfway through the evening, when the crowd was at its peak, I stood and raised my glass. A toast, I said, my voice clear, commanding. All eyes turned to me. Anna's hand gripped my arm, nails digging in, sensing something was wrong. To my wife, I began, locking eyes with her. For teaching me that love can be the most beautiful lie we tell ourselves. Confused murmurs rippled through the room. Anna stiffened, her smile frozen. I pulled my phone from my pocket, projecting her texts onto the big screen meant for party photos. Gasps filled the air as her words appeared in glaring clarity. I can't stop thinking about you. He doesn't excite me anymore. Her face drained of color. She tried to speak, but her voice failed. The room turned against her in whispers and stares, her carefully built facade crumbling in seconds. I set my glass down calmly, the bitterness in me finally quieted by the sound of her humiliation. Enjoy the rest of the evening, I said, and walked out, leaving her to drown in the wreckage she created. Outside, the night was cool, and for the first time in weeks, I could breathe. The pain hadn't vanished. Betrayal leaves scars that never truly fade, but I had taken back something she stole from me, control. As I drove away, I realized revenge hadn't healed me, but it had given me closure. She had chosen her path, and I had chosen mine. And in that choice, I found a strange, haunting kind of peace.